welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some least common multiple advanced examples, so essentially examples where the numbers are much larger numbers and it's much harder to tell just by looking at them what the least common multiple might be. So basically the least common multiple in general is the smallest number that is a multiple of two or more different values at once. And what we can do is we can make factor trees in order to find the common values between two of the values or more than two potentially as well in order to find the least common multiple. And I'll dive a bit deeper into that once we get into it. So here the first question asks us to find the least common multiple of 210 and 126. And these are both pretty big numbers. And so if we were to just write out a whole bunch of multiples for both of them, it might take us a very, very long time and be very inconvenient and unpleasant to find them. So what I'll do instead is I'm going to write factor trees for both in order to break both of these numbers down into the prime factors that they have. And from there, what I would do is I'm going to take all of the ones that are in either one of them, either or, and list them and multiply those together in order to get the least common multiple. So let's start just by doing the factor trees first of all, and I have a whole video on just factor trees where I go into more detail on that, but I will be showing that here as well. So for 126, two numbers that multiply to 126 would be definitely 2 and something because 126 is even. So let's see, 2 and 63, I believe, would work. Yep, that's right. And then 63 is the same as 7 times 9. And then 7 is prime, but 9 is not. 9 is 3 times 3. And then I'm going to circle my prime factors to show that these are all prime factors. And so essentially 126 is a number that can be broken down into 2 times 3 times 3 times 7. Or you could write it as 2 times 3 squared times 7, like that. All right, the next number is 210. So let's do that one as well. So 210 is the same as 2 times 105. 105 is divisible by 5, so 5 times 20 would give us 100, so that means 5 times 21 would have to give us 105. And then 21 can be broken down into 7 times 3. So therefore, 210 is equal to 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. And I prefer to write the factors in order here, just because that way it's easier to do it a little bit later and not miss anything by mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each of the factors and find the highest multiplicity, and then that multiplicity is what's going to be included for the LCM. So the LCM of 126 and 210 is equal to 2 because 2 is in both of them. Now keep in mind that even though 2 is in both, we don't put it twice. We only put it one time. 3 is also in both, and the highest multiplicity is 2, so I'm going to put 3 squared. 5 is just in one of them, and so I'm still going to put 5 as well. And then 7 is in both of them, but even though it's in both, I will just put it once. So the LCM, least common multiple of these, is 2 times 3 squared times 5 times 7. Now, in order to figure out what that is, feel free to take out your calculator on this one to figure it out. If it's a simple one, we probably wouldn't, but for this one, let's do it. So let's see, 2 times 3 squared, which is 9. So 2 times 9 times 5 times 7 is going to be 630. So least common multiple of these two is 630. All right, and so there we go. Okay, next let's find the least common multiple of 180 and 216. So it's the same method one more time. Feel free to pause this and try it yourself first if you'd like, or feel free to just continue watching if you want as well. So let's start with 180's factor tree. So let's see. We know that 3 times 60 is 180, and 3 is prime. 20 times 3 is also going to be 60, And then 20 is 4 times 5, and 5 is prime, and 4 is 2 times 2. So therefore, 180 is equal to 2 squared, because there's two 2's down there, times 3 squared, because there's three 3's, and then times 5, like that. Then we're going to do the same for 216. So let's see, 216 is going to be 2 times 108, and that's going to be 2 and 54. And then 9 times 6 is 54. 6 is 2 times 3, and 9 is 3 times 3. So therefore, this one is 2 cubed times 3 cubed, because there's 3 2's, and there's also 3 3's there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each factor from either of them and put it in. And in cases where both have the same factor, I'm going to go with the highest multiplicity. So let's start with the 2's. Here we have 2 squared and 2 cubed. So in this case, 2 is a common factor, common prime factor for both, but in 216 it has the multiplicity 3, right? Power of 3. So for my LCM, I'm going to use 2 to the power of 3, because we always go with the higher multiplicity when we have repeats. Then we have another repeat here for 3, but we have 3 squared on top and 3 cubed in the bottom. And so once again, whenever we have a repeat, we go with the higher multiplicity, which is 3. So 3 cubed in this case. And then for 5, it is not a repeat. And so 5 to the power 1, which is just 5, is bigger than 5 to nothing. So we're just going to put 5 there because there's not really a competition there at all. And then LCM is this number, 2 cubed times 3 cubed times 5. Now 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And then 5 is just 5. And then we can grab our calculator and type in 8 times 27 times 5 and get 1080. So therefore, the LCM, least common multiple, is 1080. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section, and we'll see you for the next one.